Now comes the solstice night. I wish you safe and sound. Whether snow be light or heavy on the ground, our hearts bring back the light, as all the earth must do. May stars fill up our sight with wishes coming true. My wish this solstice night is grace and peace to you. Now comes the time of year when shadow yields the throne, the lords of oak and holly, the dance that must be done. Keep faith and keep your candle. The sun is sure to rise o'er sleepy fields of winter, bringing beauty to our eyes. Upon the solstice night, I wish you safe and sound. Whether snow be light or heavy on the ground, our hearts bring back the light, as all the world must do. May stars fill up our sight with wishes coming true. My wish this solstice night is grace and peace to you. Grace and peace to you. My wish this solstice night is grace and peace to you. Grace and peace to you. Grace and peace to you.
Good morning, and welcome to this multi-generational online service of the Unitarian Universalist Fellowship at Stony Brook. My name is Jess Pond, and I have the privilege of being your worship associate this morning. Our service leaders this morning are our minister, Margie Allen, our director of religious education, Deb Little, and members of our religious education committee. I would like to offer a special welcome to anyone who is visiting us today. We are glad you are here, especially during this time of social isolation. Whoever you are, wherever you are, we welcome you, and we thank you for joining us, especially for today's multi-generational online service. Our services do vary in style and content, and we hope that you will visit us more than once to get a true sense of who we are as a diverse community of faith. Unitarian Universalism is a liberal religion with no fixed creed that everyone must accept. We are guided by our 7 principles and multiple sources of inspiration. You can find more information about this on our webpage, UUFSB.org. Let this virtual sanctuary be your spiritual home this morning. Wherever you are coming to us from and however you are led to join us, you are so welcome. And now, some reminders. If you are missing our regular announcements and weekly calendar, which would have been printed in our orders of service, you can now find them on our Saturday news feeds, along with the service link and small group chat links. Take a look to find everything we have to offer. We have a lot of exciting virtual classes and events going on. At the end of our service, we hope you'll join us for our virtual coffee hour. Just stay in this meeting after the service ends to join the conversation. And if you'd like to continue the conversation after that, you can join the small group chats through the separate link on our website or the Saturday newsfeed. We hope that you will find this time together nurturing and enriching.
This morning, the bell that welcomes us into the spirit of worship and celebration is really a bunch of little bells that jingle when they're sounded. Yep. Imagine bells on the harness of a horse and bells on the sled he pulls through the holiday snowfall. Jingle bells. We're on our way.
As I light my chalice, I invite everyone to light whatever type of candle you have or desire. December is a time of many holidays and much celebration. You may wish to light a Hanukkah candle to acknowledge the holiday that just ended, or you may have an Advent candle, or Kwanzaa candles, or of course, a chalice, or a Yule log to celebrate tomorrow's winter solstice. Candles evoke stillness and repel the darkness. Winter solstice is a time when the night is the longest and the day is the shortest. But after the solstice, more and more light returns each day. The returning of the light rekindles our sense of hope.
Thanks, Jess. Once again, the cycle of our congregational year returns us to this particular delightful service that's firmly inscribed in our fellowship's winter holiday tradition. Today, on the day before the winter solstice, we collect light of various religious traditions to help us navigate through the darkness of the season and the sometime bitterness of these stressful times. In the light we bring together here, we remember the joy that December brings, the hope to be found in the strength of our devotion to one another and to this faith, and the pleasure of giving and receiving, even when we can do so right now only at a safe distance. If you don't have your holiday supplies gift bag near you, please take a minute at some point to fetch it. There's something in it that you'll need later on in the service. That said, don't worry if you didn't pick up your bag, or if you don't even know what the heck I'm talking about. You'll have fun anyway. I hope you'll all be able to join John and Lee Morris now in singing Lee's beautiful solstice carol on the longest night. It's a call and response form of song. The call words change. The response words that John sings fall between each call line and are the same every time, on the longest night. You can sing call or response or both. Just sing.
We cast our gaze up to the sky
on the longest night,
and a luster greets our
on
eye
the longest night,
of the starlight and moon glow,
on the longest night,
shining beams upon the snow,
on the longest night,
on the longest night of the year.
on the longest night,
And though the light is far away,
on the longest night,
there is a luminous display,
on the longest night,
and a beauty to behold,
on the longest night,
this time of dark and cold.
On the longest night.
On the longest night. Of the year.
On the longest night.
And when your beacon has gone out.
On the longest night.
Hope will triumph over doubt.
On the longest night.
Find the faith to sing amen.
On the longest night.
For the sun will rise again.
On the longest night.
Gather friends and sing amen.
On the longest night.
For the sun will rise again.
On the longest night.
On the longest night. Of the year.
On the longest night.
Of the year.
On the longest night.
Of the year.
On the longest night.
Good morning, friends. In March, we entered the world of virtual gatherings. We were physically apart. Now we're in the holiday season and we are still physically apart. Yet we're also still together in our spirit, in our hearts. We are moving through this pandemic time and we are doing it together. In 1918, our country lived through a terrible flu. 1 of 4 Americans became ill and 675,000 of us died. Those times were more difficult than today. We knew about germ theory, but did not have the microscopes with which to see the virus. Leaders urged wearing masks and social distancing. Most complied, recognizing perhaps that we were engaged in 2 wars at the time, one against Germany and the other against influenza. A caution rang out from public officials. Quote, "You will show your love for dad and mother, brother, sister, and the rest of them best this year by sticking to your own home instead of paying annual Christmas visits." Close quote. You may have guessed that this official was not Governor Cuomo. It's a little bit folksy for him. This was the Ohio State Acting Health Commissioner issuing warnings in 1918. But the message is the same, and we are heeding it for the most part. After the flu pandemic ended in 1919, most of this country strove to return to the pre-flu status quo. There was no national reckoning or grieving. Many families and individuals were left to make sense of it themselves. This is not us, and this is not where we are. We are blessed with a governor who has been honest and proactive. We understand more about this virus every day. We have tools like curbside pickup and grocery delivery and online shopping to ease our physical needs. And now we have vaccines. We also have incredible technology, which allows us to be together even as we are physically apart. To be sure, seeing faces on our computer screens is not the same as seeing faces around the table in the yellow room or down the rows in the sanctuary. And yet we do see each other. We are learning to be present together in these new ways. Our willingness and ability to do this is a gift we give to each other. We will not be returning to the pre-COVID status quo. We're creating a new normal, adding these new practices of togetherness. These are gifts. We're able to connect with others and with so many others. Think of the 5,000 or so who gathered at virtual GA this past summer. Think of those who do not easily travel because of disability or illness. Think of those who have come to us because we are so much more accessible online. These are gifts. Yet, we also need to feel especially connected during these holidays when we're heeding the advice to stick to our own homes. So we asked, you gave, and we received. And now we're giving back to you. You have provided what is needed for us to share some familiar rituals and gather through music and photos. In this service, we celebrate our UUFSB home by sharing images of celebrations by our members. Let us begin. This year, we celebrate with a solstice with a Yule log created by one family among us. The solstice night comes tomorrow, and Linda Cortese opened our service by reminding us to keep faith and keep our candles burning because the sun is sure to rise. The words of this song, I wish you safe and sound, are especially prescient this year. In 1918, people would go knock on the windows of neighbors to see if they were well. But families lived closer to each other. In today's words, they potted together. We live further apart. Today we miss each other's physical presence. Yet I believe it is a powerful sign of our commitment that all be safe and sound, that we have not yet returned to the fellowship. And we still celebrate. The Hanukkah holiday has just ended. In years past, we would recognize this Jewish holiday during our solstice service. The diamond's candelabra brings Hanukkah to us. Gathering with family, with candles, with wreaths, with Santas are all part of our Christmas holiday. Sharing family photos takes on new meaning for us this year. So do new ornaments, like the lovely gold balls with mass created for us by some of our Victorian ladies. The creation of cards and photos and new ornaments is a gift that will allow us to move forward, not forgetting the trauma of this pandemic, but also not forgetting the humor and love that sustained us. This lovely creche scene speaks volumes. Of course, it reminds us that for many, the reason for the Christmas holidays is the birth of Jesus. But note the Snoopy figure in the scene, a secular bit of whimsy from a UU who was raised Jewish. Need I say more? And now come the trees. I admit that I was ambivalent about even having a tree this year. We're missing having our loved ones with us. I know that there are many here today who feel similar absences keenly. And yet, the decorated trees demonstrate our resilience and our hope. I looked for stories and images from the Christmas of 1918, but they're hard to find. Americans were too overwhelmed by World War I and the flu. But some historians report that Americans still dragged an evergreen from their yard into their homes. They were missing church and grieving losses of friends and family, yet they brought evergreens into their homes. We too have done this. Our trees also represent giving and receiving. As is our tradition, we've given mittens and gloves to those who are struggling to keep warm this year. It's a weird season, to be sure, when we are not out and about wishing each other happy holidays and Merry Christmas and Happy Hanukkah or Happy Kwanzaa. Yet your greetings continue to go out into the universe. Some of you shared copies of greeting cards and photos. You were creative in using photos from family gatherings during safer times. Our children created some greetings to our fellowship. In the end, though, this is the greeting that I am receiving today. and giving to you all. I love you. I wish you safe and sound. Keep faith and keep your candles lit, because the sun is sure to rise. Amen. Every year since at least the early 1990s, we have decorated a tree with mittens, scarves, and hats for children and youth in our community. This year, we are also giving to adults who are dealing with a lack of housing. The origins of this tradition are unclear, although you librarians and researchers among us are invited to help me track this down. Nonetheless, there is a story that tells of the importance of the mitten tree. Michelle and Greg Maggio share it with us now, accompanied by photos of this year's tree gradually filling up with mittens, gloves, scarves, and hats. Thank you for your generosity.
This is the adapted story of the Mitten Tree by Candace Christensen, illustrated by Elaine Greenstein. At the end of a long lane in a tidy little house, Sarah lived alone. Here, children had grown up and moved away, but Sarah still remembered the mornings when she walked with them to the blue spruce tree where they waited for the school bus.
Now, each chilly morning, Sarah pulled on her warm coat and started down the lane. She walked past the children on her way to the mailbox, but the children never seemed to notice her. One winter morning, after the first snow had fallen, all the children were making snowmen and throwing snowballs, all except for one little boy in a blue cap and a blue coat. He stood away from the others with his hands sunk deep in his pockets. When the school bus arrived, he lingered behind and was last in line. As Sarah watched the little boy climb into the bus, she could see one thing: he had no mittens.
All that day, Sarah couldn't stop worrying about the little boy with no mittens. Late in the afternoon, Sarah dug through a basket of yarn scraps she had saved for many years. She found her needles and 4 shades of blue wool. Then Sarah began to knit. Sarah worked late into the night. When the sun began to rise, she hurried to the bus stop and hung the mittens on the old blue spruce tree. From behind the hedge, Sarah watched.
The little boy was the first to arrive, and he saw the mittens. He reached up and tried them on. They fit. With a big smile, he made a perfect snowball and threw it high into the winter sky. Soon, a little girl in a red coat arrived. Her mittens didn't match. That night, Sarah knitted with red yarn.
Every day now, as Sarah went to the mailbox, she watched for children without mittens. Then she would hurry home and knit. Early in the morning, she would hang the new mittens on the tree. The children loved the game. Each day, they would search under every branch and bough for another pair of mittens. On the last day before winter vacation, Sarah awakened before dawn. She took the empty basket that had once held her yarn and filled it to the brim with mittens. Out the door and down the steps she headed. When she got to the blue spruce tree, she hung mittens on every branch.
The boy with the blue mittens was the first to arrive. He stood very still and waited for the others. In fact, all the children stood very still for a few minutes, looking at the mysterious, beautiful mitten tree. When they boarded the bus, each child now wore a new pair of mittens, and Sarah's heart was full. As Sarah neared her porch and climbed the steps, she saw something waiting for her. There in the corner was a basket woven with thick brown vines and decorated with a large white bow. In it were balls and balls of beautiful, colorful yarn.
To this day, Sarah knits mittens for all the children in her town. Every time her basket of yarn is empty, a new full one appears. Sarah doesn't know who the yarn is from. The children still don't know who the mittens are from.
But all the children have mittens.
It is our spiritual practice to encourage ourselves in generosity by taking an offering that will be shared between our fellowship and an agency doing social justice work. Our Share the Plate recipient for the month of December is Community Solidarity, a grassroots food share organization that serves low-income communities of Long Island and New York City. They provide fresh produce, groceries, and vegetarian meals to families in need. They collect and redistribute clothing, toiletries, books, and toys. They rescue fresh produce destined for the landfill, and they organize community garden projects. During times of major storms and emergencies, thousands of community solidarity volunteers work around the clock helping struggling families. During this time, when we cannot pass the plate in person, this is your invitation to continue sending in your much needed pledge payments and contributions to the work of this fellowship and our social justice partners. Please give generously. Details on how to make your contribution and indicate how it should be allocated can be found in the special newsfeed or on our webpage. It is with deep gratitude that we receive your gifts. Thank you.
Litany. There's a hymn in our hymn book, number 402, that reminds us, "From you I receive, and to you I give. Together we share, and from this we live." This litany is based on those words. And if you're willing, Jess and I would love for you to echo the repeated phrases, "From you I receive, and to you I give." We'll pause just very briefly each time we say those words to give you time to squeeze your echo in. So here we go. From you I receive
A box, brightly wrapped with something wonderful inside. To you I give
a little something I made myself just for you, just for you. From you I receive
the smile I sent you just now, your face shining. To you I give
this little hug your eyes just told me you'd like to have. From you I receive
hope when I can't find mine anywhere. Darn it, where did I put that hope? To you I give
hope when I have some in every one of my pockets and you're all out. From you I receive
a steadying hand when I am off balance and might fall. To you I give
a steadying word when you are confused or upset and your whole basket of feelings is about to tip over. From you I receive
something really good to eat. Yum, my favorite. You are such a good cook. To you I give
more when you'd like more and less when less is better. When is less better? Oh, come on, you know. From you I receive
love when I've forgotten how lovable I am. How could that happen? But it does. To you I give
love when lonely, sad, hurt you comes my way like a zombie saying, ugh, life stinks. From you I receive
the amazing story of your day, your life, your hopes and dreams. Come on, tell me more. To you I give
my best listening ears, just listening, and sometimes asking exactly the right question. Exactly the right question. From you I receive
space and time alone, right when I really need it, as much as I want. To you I give
dinner and a movie, a ride, a joke, a dance, a game of sleeping queens, the company you need right when you need it. From you I receive
a really good idea, the solution, a great list, something I like in every color. One more, even though you think I've had enough. The thing I lost that you found. The word that's been on the tip of my tongue too long. Forgiveness. To you I give
the extra one I have of this thing you love and can't find, the hand, when you're going on a bit too long, it happens. Congratulations and condolences, a card, a bouquet, a call, gratitude. From you I receive, to you I give, and together we share, and from this we live. Amen. Now, in a minute, we're going to sing Jingle Bells. The words will appear on slides, and Lee Morris plays the accompaniment. But first, let me fill you in on a little history. Jingle Bells is not a carol. It's not a hymn. It's a popular secular holiday song written in 1857 by James Pierpont. James was the son of a fiercely abolitionist Unitarian minister, and he was the organist for the Unitarian congregation in Savannah, Georgia, where his brother served as minister. While working in Georgia, he wrote this song for the Thanksgiving holidays. This year of brokenness asks us always to be honest about our own faith and history, including the history of our music. While this song is from the Unitarian tradition, its composer sided with and enlisted in the Confederate Army and wrote many Confederate anthems. The origins of the song are tarred by the anti-abolitionist views of James Pierpont. However, we might see this song through a more modern lens as well. Jingle Bells was the first song ever beamed to us from outer space. reminding us of our shared capacity for joy, even in our broken history and our broken present. Please join in singing, Newly Informed.
Dashing through the snow in a one-horse open sleigh, o'er the fields we go, laughing all the way. Bells on bobtail ring, making spirits bright. What fun it is to laugh and sing a sleighing song tonight. Oh, jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. A day or two ago, I thought I'd take a ride, and soon Miss Fanny Bright was seated by my side. The horse was lean and lank, misfortune seemed his lot. We got into a drifted bank, and then we got upset. Oh, jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Now the ground is white, go it while you're young. Take your friends tonight and sing this sleighing song. Just get a bobtail bay, 240 as his speed. Hitch him to an open sleigh and crack, you'll take the lead. Oh, jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh.
That was great. Thank you. Thank you to John and Lee for all of your amazing work, among many other amazing productions. Our closing words are a little poem written by Gary Johnson that seems strangely resonant with the joys and sorrows of this particular winter holiday season. It's called December. A little girl is singing for the faithful to come ye, joyful and triumphant, a song she loves. And also the partridge in a pear tree and the golden rings and the turtle doves. In the dark streets, red lights and green and blue where the faithful live, some joyful, some troubled, enduring the cold and also the flu. Taking the garbage out and keeping the sidewalk shoveled. Not much triumph going on in here. And yet there is much we do not understand. And my hopes and fears are met in this small singer holding onto my hand. Onward we go, faithfully into the dark. And are there angels singing overhead? Hark.
Are you ready? Singing the 12 days of Christmas together with groups of people lifting handheld cards depicting all the gifts is a long-time annual fellowship tradition. This year will be a bit different as we will sing together on Zoom. But don't worry, As always, some members will hold their cards high to lead us, and we invite you to hold your own cards high at home each time the 12 days card in your holiday gift bag is named. After we sing the last and a partridge in a pear tree, we will sound our bell again, extinguish the lights we have lit, and take in a benediction to hold on our journey into the week. So sit tight after the last note.
On the first day of Christmas, my true love gave to me a partridge in a pear tree. On the second day of Christmas, my true love gave to me 2 turtle doves and a partridge in a pear tree. On the third day of Christmas, my true love gave to me 3 fresh hens, 2 turtle doves and a partridge in a pear tree. On the fourth day of Christmas, my true love gave to me 4 calling birds, 3 French hens, 2 turtle doves, and a partridge in a pear tree. On the fifth day of Christmas, my true love gave to me 5 golden rings, 4 calling birds, 3 French hens, 2 turtle doves, and a partridge in a pear tree. On the sixth day of Christmas, my true love gave to me 6 geese laying, 5 golden rings, 4 calling birds, 3 French hens, 2 turtle doves, and a partridge in a pear tree. On the seventh day of Christmas, my true love gave to me 7 swans swimming, 6 geese laying, 5 golden rings, 4 calling birds, 3 French hens, 2 turtle doves, and a partridge in a pear tree. On the eighth day of Christmas, my true love gave to me 8 maids of Lincoln, 7 swans swimming, 6 geese laying, 5 golden rings, 4 calling birds, 3 French hens, 2 turtle doves, and a partridge in a pear tree. On the ninth day of Christmas, my true love gave to me 9 ladies dancing, 8 maids of Lincoln, 7 swans swimming, 6 geese laying, 5 golden rings, 4 calling birds, 3 French hens, 2 turtle doves, and a partridge in a pear tree. On the 10th day of Christmas, my true love gave to me 10 lords a leaping, 9 ladies dancing, 8 maids of Lincoln, 7 swans swimming, 6 geese laying, 5 golden rings, 4 calling birds, 3 French hens, 2 turtle doves, and a partridge in a pear tree. On the 11th day of Christmas, my true love gave me 11 pipers piping, 10 lords a leaping, 9 ladies dancing, 8 maids of Lincoln, 7 swans swimming, 6 geese laying, 5 golden rings, 4 calling birds, 3 French hens, 2 turtle doves, and a partridge in a pear tree. On the 12th day of Christmas, my true love gave to me 12 drivers drumming, 11 pipers piping, 10 lords a leaping, 9 ladies dancing, 8 maids of Lincoln, 7 swans swimming, 6 geese laying, 5 golden rings, 4 calling birds, 3 French hens, 2 turtle doves, and a partridge in a pear tree.
Well, here's our bell.
As I extinguish my chalice, I invite you to please join me and extinguish your own candles as our service comes to a close.
Our benediction today is adapted from words by Dorothy Day. We have all known the long loneliness, and we have learned that the only solution is love, and that love comes with community. Let us each feel the ties that bind us even as we are physically apart. Let us all know the love that comes with giving to and receiving from our communities this holiday season. So may it be.